Well, for more on this, I'm joined by Triestino Mariniello. He is Professor of Law at Liverpool John Moores University and a member of the legal team representing Gaza victims before the International Criminal Court. He joins us live from Liverpool in the UK. Thanks for joining us on the show. From what you've seen since October 7th, how strong is the Palestinian case that war crimes and even genocide are being committed in the ongoing conflict?
Well, first of all, many thanks for the invitation this morning. Before looking at the individual violations, so individual commission of crimes, one has to understand under international law, the context in which these violations are taking place. And the context is the one of a lawful blockade, which has been ongoing in Gaza for 16 years. And the blockade itself constitutes a collective punishment, as already declared by the Secretary General of the UN in the past. In this context, since the 7th of October 2023, there is a long list of violations of international law, and in particular international humanitarian law, put in place by the Israeli authorities. As you correctly mentioned, war crimes, first of all, going from the total siege declared by the Israeli authorities, in other words, depriving the civilian population in Gaza of essential goods, food, water, fuel, and so on, indiscriminate attacks against civilians. This is not a novelty. All the military operations against Gaza have been characterized by attacks, deliberate attacks against civilians and civilian objects, excessive use of force, which also constitutes another war crimes under international criminal law, and the evacuation order. In other words, the order to move the entire population from the north to the south of Gaza may also amount to a war crime. According to a number of international organizations and also international express, and I share these views, there is the risk of ongoing commission of genocide. Also, not only in light of the massive murder and the condition created by Israel in Gaza, but also in light of the intent, as clearly declared by political and military leaders, to destroy Palestinians as national groups, Palestinians defined by the Minister of Defense of Israel as human animals. The dehumanization of individuals is a typical step of genocide in the history.
Many were keen for Palestine to join the ICC, perhaps in the hope that it might prevent war crimes or at least atrocities from happening, or at the very least to hold Israel to account. But I think many would say that the legal process is currently failing citizens there. What's your view?
Well, unfortunately, that's true. The first time that Palestine, the state of Palestine, started its formal engagement with the ICC was in 2009, after the military operation Cast led. And in that case, there has never been any investigation by the ICC. Finally, the ICC in 2021 has opened an official investigation looking at what happened in the war of 2014 during the Great March of Return, and also in relation to settlements in the West Bank as a war crime. Unfortunately, since the new prosecutor has been appointed, the British barrister Karim Khan, he has been quite reluctant in putting in place so far any effective investigation in Palestine. Under the statute of the International Criminal Court, he enjoys huge discretion. After a few weeks, he has finally spoken in public from the Rafah border in Egypt, and it seems that the situation now is under his attention, but I think we are still very far from looking at an effective investigation. Effective investigation means identifying the perpetrators of these crimes and starting for a request of arrest warrant or summons to appear before the court, as we have seen very promptly in other situations, for instance in Ukraine.
Okay, Triestino Mariniello from Liverpool in the UK. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.